Right. So as I said, we're going to talk about the 5 steps to make a career comeback. And before we even get to that, I'd like to highlight that there is a definite gap that you and I and everybody knows. There is a gap on our resume. There is a gap in terms of our skill set, where we should be, where we are today. But how do we actually follow a systematic approach to overcome that gap and really be able to make a career comeback? So today we're going to talk about that gap. So can you guys see my screen fine? Can you just chat, ping us on chat and let us know if you're able to see my screen? Okay, yeah, Sapna can see our screen. Akansha, can you see the screen too? Hi, yes. Okay, perfect. So we're going to talk about minding that gap. Now, there is a systematic, okay, so let me ask you this question, ladies. When you actually were looking for your first job, yeah, there were things that you did right from your 10th and the 12th grade. You knew you're going to take physics, maths, and or you're going to take accounts. You're going to study engineering for the next 4 years, or you're going to do your CA degree for the next 5 years, and then you're going to get into internship. You also reached out to every possible sort of professional in your family and your friend circle, and you tried to figure out what is it that they did to find themselves a place in such a large corporate organization. You actually tried to gain from their experiences. Now, obviously, we don't expect you to go ahead and gain those degrees again, do as much as you did at that point in time. We're only proposing that you do 10% of what you did at that point in time, right? Only 10%. And that should be able to bring you back from your break and be able to give you a perfect, successful restart, is what I'm saying, right? So mind the gap. Now, over a period of time, what we have done is what we're suggesting you that 10% of the work that you did during your first job search, you do it in a systematic fashion while trying to make a career comeback. And these are the 5 steps that I have jotted down. And we're going to talk about each one of these five steps a little bit more in detail as we go along during this presentation. The first one is to be or not to be, reevaluate, reskill, reconnect. And the 5th and the last one and the most important one is the 2 Ps. And that is the surprise that we've kept towards the end of the day. We're going to talk about the 2 Ps, what these 2 Ps are that would really keep you going. So coming on to our first slide, so basically this slide really just says that if you follow these 5 steps, you will be able to get the success that you're after. Okay, again, just quickly to reconfirm, can you guys see my screen? Manju, can you see my screen too? Akansha, Sapna, everybody? Yeah? Okay, perfect.
No, I can't see a screen. I can see you, but not a screen.
You can't see the screen? Okay, let me start the screen share once again then.
So I have to click on share screen, is it?
No, you don't have to do that. I will share the screen. And I'm just going to mute all of you guys just now so that it would just be me talking so we can chat on the window. But I will start sharing the screen just now. Okay, 1 second. Right. Yep. Can you see the screen? Yes. Okay, perfect. So the step number 1 that I have pointed out is to be or not to be. Now, please understand, ladies, that the situation that you guys are in, it's a very, very important time for you to contemplate, to reevaluate, to rethink if what is true success for you, what is true happiness for you. If your success, your happiness, your freedom, your fulfillment really lies in your professional comeback, go for it. And we are here to support you. But if you think that you're much happier doing what you are doing right now, taking care of the kids, taking care of the home, just being involved in everything around the children and your family. That gives you the true success, the true happiness, true freedom, true fulfillment. Just, carry on doing. Just don't get into a pressure. I'm qualified, I'm experienced, what am I doing with my life? My friend is doing it, my sister is doing it, why can't I? So don't let that peer pressure make push you towards that decision. This decision has to be your own, and it has to depend on what you think is true success for you, what you think is true happiness for you. Once you've made up your mind, we are there to help you. There are a lot of us, there are a lot of other people like us who are there to help you. Mentors, guides, coaches, people like Women Restart. But it's for you to decide to be or not to be, to do or not to do. So that is step number one. Please make sure that you understand the criticality of this step and really make the decision based on your real parameters of success and happiness for you. Now, at the bottom of the screen, if you're able to see, there's a link that I provided. It is a link on the website, womenrestart.com/assess-readiness. Now, there's this small assessment, which gives you situation-based questions for you to understand what would it really be when you restart your career after a break. There will be situations that you will have to overcome. These will really make you think, think and think hard that whether or not I'm making the right choice at this stage of my life. So that's step number one. Step number two is reevaluate. Now, guys, this career break is an opportunity. It's not a setback. Use it as an opportunity, right? So you were working, 10 hours a day. You were a developer or a tester or a financial analyst or whatever your profession was at that point in time. You took a break, you went away, now you're contemplating coming back. Also use this time to evaluate and figure out what your options are. If you loved your job then and you love your job now, then there is no reason of doing this. But if you're thinking maybe, I have slightly different sort of interests now, should I try something in my hands at something new? So that's when you really need to take a step back and figure out what really your options are. And just to give you, this graph gives you a little bit of demographics as to where. So there are several women who come to our platform looking for various opportunities, and this is a breakdown of what kind of opportunities they're looking for. So about 35% of our users are looking for full-time opportunities. There are another 30% who are looking for work from home opportunities. They want to work, but they don't want to go out and work. They want to be doing it right from their home. They are dedicated. There's nothing wrong with that, but they just want to do it from home. Right? Then there are others who say, I'll go out and work, but I can only do it for 4 hours a day, or I can just take a projects, 3-month project, 4-month projects, and then I'm going to take a break of 1 to 2 months. That works well for me. Another 20% are also looking for entrepreneurial opportunities, coming up with your own business, small business, medium business, large business, could be anything. But about 20% of these women are also looking for entrepreneurial opportunities. At the bottom of the screen, you will see another link that I have provided, which talks about various career options. There are some listed down there, but we are updating this list as we go along. So you will see more and more of these coming up over the next few days. So you can check this out, womenrestart.com/blog/career-options. Step number 3. Oh, before I get to step number 3, now, while you are contemplating whether or not to come back, you're also contemplating, what should I come back to? Also, don't think twice about asking for help. And this is a very, very important element. So I'm going to share my own personal experience with you. So when I restarted my career after my first child, although it was a temporary job, I was working from home at that point in time. But I just felt the need to manage the home. The home has to be spick and span. My child has to, there's no compromises around my child. I still have to take him out. I still have to feed him what I used to feed him. So nothing changes around the home, except I've taken an additional work burden of another 6 hours. So trust me, at that point in time, I wasn't enjoying my work. I did for the next first week or two, but I wasn't enjoying coming back because I was just stressing myself out really, really bad. I was not asking for help. I was not sharing the load. So you have to ensure that when you are coming back, these have to be in place. Please understand that you and I, we are not superwomen. We think we can become superwomen, but over a period of time, we might end up burning ourselves out, and your career comeback will not be sustainable. So if you really want your career comeback to be long term and sustainable, and ensure that you delegate work. Delegate it to your family, delegate it to your help, your domestic help. Get help from your in-laws, get help from your spouse, get help from your kids, but get help. Very, very important. Step number 3, and this entire month we've been talking a lot about reskilling, reskill to restart, reskill to restart. Now, please understand, ladies, that 5 years ago things were different. Or however long your break was, even 2 years ago, the technology changes super fast. Even if you were in some other industries, you were not in IT, you were in some other industries, the industries evolve. The tools that you're using at workplace are totally different. Even the language that they use at workplace is totally, sometimes it sounds Hebrew. So you have to get yourself well versed with what has changed. Identify what has changed first, instead of just randomly thinking, oh, let me take up that course, let me take up this course. Speak to a mentor, speak to your ex-colleagues, speak to your ex-managers. Understand what has changed from where you were and where you are and where you want to be. And there could be times then, instead of just upgrading your skills, there would also be times when they would ask you to unlearn certain things, right? And that's fine. You should be willing to accept that change, and you should be willing to take up take up responsibility, own your career, and things would become much, much more easier. It's your responsibility to bridge the gap and figure out what has changed, and sort of retrain yourselves, reskill yourselves into the change technology. At the bottom of the screen, again, you would see that there is a section called womenrestart.com hyphen, oh, sorry, slash courses dot slash courses hyphen overview. So have a look at our courses, see if something might be of interest to you. Step number 4. Step number 4 is reconnect. Extremely important. And I think this is the most important of them all. Network, network, network. And that's going to make things so much more easier. One, you would understand what has changed. So you'd be able to identify that gap and bridge that gap. But other than that, people now know that you are available. They know your skill set because they've worked with you in the past. They could be your friends, your colleagues, anybody. And the moment they see an opportunity that you could be a good fit in, you'll be the first person who comes to their head, because you've been sort of networking with them, talking to them, telling them quite openly that you are looking out. So network, network, network. Extremely important part. I can't talk enough about this element, and I'll give you a live example of that one, right? So we're talking to a lot of companies, and we're talking to a lot of candidates. Now, when candidates approach us, they do, so we do conduct a lot of online and offline events, right? Obviously, we are trying to make sure that the maximum number of candidates who are trying to make a career comeback get placed. Now, but certain candidates really do stand out, mainly because they're really trying very hard proactively to reach out to you and tell you, Sheetal, this is where I am, this is where I want to be, what do you recommend? And you know that this person could be a perfect fit for an organization. So you push them slightly harder. Not that I'm biased towards other returnees, but when you know that this returnee, she's been so persistent, she really wants it, and she'd be a great cultural fit for this organization, you know, your chances will be much higher, is what I'm saying, right? So there's this example. So there's this lady who was extremely persistent. She was constantly following up with me. I got something with Aditya Birla Group, and I called her like literally 7:30 in the night, and I asked her, and I'm not going to take names, I asked her, would you be interested? She's like, are you kidding me? I'm definitely interested. When can I go and meet them? And she went there next morning. She got interviewed. She got selected. The offer letter wasn't rolled out. She was kind of given an indication that yes, we will have you join on Tuesday, but the offer letter would be released shortly. And she called me from just outside the office, and trust me, her voice was totally different. She was super excited, and she was too happy that she had got what she had got. And she says, hey, you know what, Sheetal, this XYZ person has said that she will be issuing me the offer letter around 3 p.m. It's 10 now. Do you think you want me to wait here outside their office until 3 p.m.? I was like, no, go home. They can email you the offer letter. So that's how excited she was to really make that career comeback. And she was able to do it much faster because she has constantly stayed in touch with our team, figured out what was changing and what was evolving. She was doing a lot of confidence building sessions with us. So network is the answer to your question. Build an online presence is the next one. Now, please understand, ladies, that when you were in workforce 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, social media was, hardly there, right? But today, social media is a huge part of our lives. Not only when you're trying to make a career comeback, generally, 3 o'clock in the night, my baby's not really feeling up to it. He's just too cranky, crying out loud. What do? You just get onto a Facebook group or a WhatsApp group, and you just quickly ping and ask people, what can I do to help my baby, or what can I do to sort of, sort of relax him down or unwind him. So basically use the online media or the social media for your benefit. Also use LinkedIn, use Twitter, follow the companies who are in your radar, who you really want to get hired with. Follow those companies. Not only just following, when you see a post that might be of interest to you, talk about it, reply to them, just help them notice that you're available, and you're watching them, and you're following them and all of that. So extremely important that you do that. Now, Facebook, honestly speaking, not a great deal. Not that you shouldn't be using Facebook. Now, I asked one of the recruiters once, do you even check Facebook of a prospective returnee or a prospective candidate? And they said, not a great deal. We just quickly have a check on Facebook to see if these guys are not extremists in some way. So, people who advocate certain types of behaviors more or the other. So companies also want to stay away from extreme sort of personalities. So just that. So Facebook may or may not be that important, but definitely LinkedIn and Twitter. Stay connected with companies. Also, another fact that you may or may not know about LinkedIn is a recruiter or anybody who is looking at your profile can only see the activity that you have performed in the last 30 days. Right? So if they can only see your activity in the 30 days and you logged 31 days ago, then they can't see that you've done anything on LinkedIn, which means that, for them, it means that this candidate is not active on LinkedIn, means they're not serious about their job search. Any job seeker today who's extremely serious about their job search has to be active on LinkedIn. definitely. Job search techniques, it's kind of overlapping between social media and job search. LinkedIn is a very, very powerful tool today. Use it to your benefit. Ensure that your profiles are up to date, and yeah, follow the companies and really get the conversation going there. Extremely important. And that brings us to the 4 steps that will get you closer to your career comeback. But what will get you, yeah, closer is one, but what would really help you make that career comeback? The final and the last one is the 2 P's: persistence and positivity. Okay. So if you took, you know, the time that you took to find your first job after your education, um, it's going to take much longer here. Okay, in some cases, it takes slightly less longer. In certain other cases, it takes a little bit longer. But the idea is to be persistent and stay positive. It's going to happen. Trust me. You know, you've done that before. You can do this again. Okay. Believe in yourselves. You will do it. Be persistent. Stay positive, and things are going to be much, much easier. Don't expect results pretty much straight away. If it happens, good for you, but it may or may not happen. Stay persistent, stay positive, and eventually this will happen. So reskill to restart, take control of your career, and you should be able to make a career comeback. So I'm going to stop slide sharing now, and then we're going to talk. Please, send out the messages, the Q&A that you might have. Bear with me 2 seconds. Okay. Perfect. So, guys, can you please ask away your questions? Something relevant to yourself. I can see that we've got a lot of attendance here. Let me check if there are any questions already. So let me ask you this. How many have you been engaged with us already on Women Restart? And what's your experience been so far? Manju, Sapna, Manika, Suma, Neha, Archana, Sonia, Babita. Questions? Okay. I'm trying to connect, not sure how to start. Have registered online. Hey Manika, all right. So since you've created a profile, so you're saying that we already have your resume, but you haven't really heard from us so far. Is that what your question is? Okay. So I'm assuming that you've created your profile. Have you also looked at our job section? Have you applied for some jobs also? No, not yet. Were there any jobs there that you found really particularly interesting? Okay, so I would highly recommend that you have a look at our job section and apply for the jobs that might be relevant to yourselves. In terms of becoming an ambassador, we are looking out for people. We don't call them ambassadors, we call them evangelists. So people who believe in our concept, and people who think who can help us really reach out to their own sort of networks, their own friends, colleagues, etc. We're very, very much open and looking out for people to help us wrap this up and reach out to more and more people. So yes, I'd be very, very keen to talk to you in person, Manika. If you could drop me a quick note, my email address is Sheetal, SHEETAL, at womenrestart.com. And yeah, so we'd be able to take it from there. And when we are talking, you and I in person, we can also figure out what kind of jobs you're interested in, and if there's more that we can do to help. Okay. Then we have a question from Akansha. She says, it's my first time with Women Restart. I wanted to know if I want to restart with overhaul. Don't want to work in previous profile. I want to reskill myself, but I don't know where to start from. Fair enough, Akansha, and I'm sure a lot of other people would relate with what you are sort of experiencing right now. That it's absolutely okay to feel the need to change your careers, not go back to the same career, and that's totally fine. And you don't have to drop away. So I'm sure you've done some amount of work in your past career, and there is experiences that you've gained already. You can still use those experiences, and because a lot of these are transferable skills. If you worked in a corporate and you worked in an organization, there are so many things that you do apart from your core work. So all the transferable skills come with you anyway. um, let's talk and let's try and figure out. I can actually even connect you to a mentor who can help you identify what your strengths are. How can you use these strengths to find yourselves a career that will suit you or that will match your interests. So I'd be very, very happy to do that. And same as my previous one, I gave it to Manika and I'm giving it to you. Drop me a quick note, sheetal@womenrestart.com, and we'd be happy to discuss what your interests are. Then Neha says, same question for me. So I guess I've answered that question for you too, Neha. I have Manju here who's asking, I'm trained on digital marketing concepts, have experience in Java technology also. I was a graphic, no, so that's for Neha. So Manju, what kind of help are you looking for? Are you looking to restart your career in digital marketing, or are you trying to get back into Java? What is it that you're wanting to do? You tell us what you want. We'll try and figure out a plan for you. Yes. Neha Agarwal says, I was a graphic designer in e-learning. Brilliant. So you can actually even help. So I can make some connections there, Neha. Reach out to me directly. Are you looking to make a career comeback there, or are you already working as a graphic? Oh, so you say I was a graphic designer. So I'm assuming you're looking out to restart again. So yes, I can make some connections. Reach out to me. That would be really great, says Akansha. Do not want to work in same. Okay. So Neha, right. So I have a question with Babita. I have not registered with Restart, but definitely I'm looking to work from home, but not finding something very nice till now. Babita, tell me what kind of work from home jobs have you applied for? So currently we've got work from home jobs as teachers, online tutors, we've got testers, we've what else do we have? Mainly these. So there are also digital marketers, recruiters that are a very popular category when you say work from home. But tell me more about what your skill sets are, what your strengths are, and I might be able to suggest you something. Right. And if, because the call might disconnect shortly, so we might be running out of time. But even if I'm not able to answer these questions right now in this webinar, feel free to reach out to me directly. I do take about 24 hours to answer my emails, so don't think that I've ignored them in some way. The response will come. Just give me some more time to come back. Yeah. And Manju says anything is fine. Manju, I'd like to highlight. See, when you're trying to make a career comeback, don't ever say that, or say instead of, don't ever believe or don't ever tell yourself that anything is fine. No, it's not that. You need to identify what your strengths are, and during the interview, you actually need to convince the interviewer that you are meant for this job. If you go to an interview, or you even when you're speaking to me, right? You tell me that I can do anything. Not a great idea. Not highly recommended either. Figure out what your strengths are. Focus on that. Go very, very targeted. Identify this is what I want to do. Stick with it. Retrain yourselves, and you will get it much, much easier than rather than just saying, because that way the recruiter thinks that you're in desperate need right now, and that's kind of off-putting for the recruiter. They can either think, no, I don't want this girl because she has no vision, no goal for herself. Second, they might even exploit the opportunity and try and offer you much lower salaries than standard. So figure out what you want, and then let's stick to that. Let's figure out a plan to get to that, and it would be much, much more easier. Then we have Suma. Will you provide kind of mock interview? What will give really make us strong? I think we can do that for you, Sima. We are in the process of coming up with a program specifically for, the interview part. So we should be able to help you very, very soon. Stay connected, Sima. Drop me a note. I'm a spoken English trainer and customer service. Um, okay, okay, brilliant. So are you looking to make a career comeback, Babita? My question is not answered. Can you please answer? So, Suma, I think I've just answered your question. I have experience in garment merchandising. I'm keen to start my own business, preferably an online startup. How can I reskill myself? Let me make some connections with you, Sapna. I have a friend of mine who runs a fashion related startup. So you can maybe try and sort of gain some experience with her and see if the two of you can collaborate. So I'll be very happy to make the connection. Yes. Okay, so I think I've answered most of the questions. I'll take the last couple more. Is that okay? Have I missed out? Have I missed out on any of your questions, ladies? No? So, yeah, I'll take a moment to just quickly introduce our evangelist program. As I did mention, we are very, very keen to engage with those of you who believe that we're doing it's a good initiative, and you would like to be involved with us. Will help us reach out to more and more women who need help, because trust me, the more of us, the more companies we'll be able to attract as well, because they obviously want to engage with you people, but they definitely need more of you together. So we'll love to reach out to more and more women. Help us do that. Become an evangelist with us. And if you really would like to get more information about this, just drop me a note, and in the email as a subject, inquiry about being an evangelist, just let me know, and we'd be able to guide you further from there. Yes, my email address, Sima, is sheetal at womenrestart.com. SHEETAL at womenrestart, WOMENRESTART.com. All right. So just in time, I really, really appreciate you girls making time and going through this presentation. I am hoping this was useful, and we'll, as I said, reach out to us, connect with us, and we'd be very, very happy to help you out. Thank you so much, Akansha. Thank you. And a cute smiley there. Thank you. Bye for now.